All right, and we're live. Hey guys, it's been a while, but this is my first, I guess, interview in a while with Von Coleman, and he's got a book coming out called PHENOMENOVA,
Mm-hmm.
and today he's gonna tell us all about it. We got
Uh,
2 days left on the campaign, so hopefully this will get some more eyes on it.
yeah, it'll be funding for 2 more days. It'll be back up after 5 days because I did funding mode, which means it'll charge later.
Uh-huh.
But then after that, once it's goes through, it goes through. It'll be back up after 5 days, and it'll be more like in demand kind of feature as we prepare the comic, which is mostly done. You will get it in a fast manner. It's 46 pages have been colored, 56 pages have been inked. So
Wow. Yeah, and I what I saw on the page is that it's a full 68-page book, right?
yeah, it's 64 of story, 68 total.
Oh, okay, dope. Let me go ahead and share my screen so we can check this out. All right, can you see it?
Oh yeah.
Dope.
192, baby. I think we might have 400 copies sold then.
192 backers and then 11,000. That's crazy, man.
Oh yeah, it's been a great experience.
Did you ever expect it to hit this amount?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't.
Oh yeah.
I knew I'd do well. Which is why I kind of had a very silent when people were like, your campaign's not gonna do. I had multiple people tell me that, and I was like, all right, bitch.
Really? I think I remember being one of the ones to tell you that it's gonna overfund for sure because
Oh yeah.
because of how many people you got on your email list and whatnot. A lot of comic artists, especially in the indie space, kind of underestimate the importance of having an email list, but you're one of the ones who got right on that and like got a lot of signups on that, so that's great.
Interesting because a lot of my backers are not on the email list, like a ton.
Really?
I think it's like it could even be 50-50 or so. I don't know, but a
Huh.
lot of people just aren't on my email lists, which is really interesting. Like I keep getting new backers that aren't. I think a lot of people that are on my email list have no idea because I would have people like that joined
Really?
it and they'd be like, "Yeah, so when do I get my comic?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "No, you get
What?
emailed about getting the comic. You don't get the comic just because I put money into this, man.
Right. So
I put work."
so you're mainly the writer of the story. Do you also edit yourself, or do you have somebody else help you with the editing?
Well, what do you mean? Do I? I mean, every writer has to edit.
Right, but do you
Oh,
mainly edit your
I hire editors as well because everyone
Oh,
I think
okay.
needs. First of all, every comic book creator, if you take yourself seriously as a comic book creator, and I say this across the board, I don't care how good you are, you need an editor. Everyone
Yep.
needs an editor. Everyone should hire an editor, someone to give them feedback, someone to give them notes, someone to check their ideas. Everyone
Absolutely.
needs it. All right, you're confident in your ideas, so is everyone. Doesn't matter. People, there's a reason. Look at no movie gets made without people checking the script. If comics are to take themselves seriously as an art form, they need that. Books have it. Everyone has it. And I'm not talking just the editors that just do the in between tasks because that's all me. I do all the hiring people and all that. I'd love to hire people to help me with that too. But
Mhm.
I'm talking a story editor, not just a copy editor who checks your spelling errors. Though that is important too.
Right.
You need someone who's going to give you brutal feedback on the storytelling, the artwork, all that. You need it.
Right.
And I would write my script, before I even brought an editor on board. I'd have people proofread my script,
Mhm.
which is crucial. Friends, thank God, I surround myself with creatives that would love to take a look at my work. I said, and I had an artist that I was ready to go with, but I was like, give me a few months. I need to really work on the script, and I did, and I'm so glad I did
Right.
because now I'm ready. And yeah.
Nice. And I just wanted to ask really quick, do you have a digital tier for backers to get into the book?
A digital tier. I'm going to add one. I decided
Yeah.
because all right. So here's my whole thing: is I was
Mhm.
not going to, and then I was going to, and then I was not. So I always have wanted to make a digital version, and I will. But I decided I was gonna do a physical first, and then especially because I thought, oh, I'll just do a digital on my website or upload to other places, and then I decided, you know what, no, I'll just do a PDF. And then I saw what my friend Rini, who did a cover here, was doing. Oh, I have to update her cover. Okay, my to-do list for today.
Which cover? Oh, this one, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, you know, I don't think I need to do that. I'll write that tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah, hold on. Oh my god, where do I put that? All right, yeah, Rini cover I'll do tomorrow.
Right. Busy time, right, man?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do like 4 streams today. So I don't know how much time I'm gonna spend writing, but then I think I'm gonna let myself really write more. It's been nuts. It's been nuts, but you know, it's been great. It's been really special working on this project. But so Rini had done she has a digital version on her website.
Okay.
And I'm like, when I have a website, that's what I'm gonna do. So I'll have the main cover available, and a physical and a digital version, and then I'll also upload to Global Comics and some other sites.
Okay, dope.
And really spread the outreach around for my my comic. That's my plan.
Awesome. And how did you come in contact with the artist for the book?
Facebook, baby. I just did I did a post on Facebook and he responded.
We got Philip Cruz, is that his name?
Yes.
Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah.
And he's so good, dude.
Oh yeah, it looks great, man. Especially the colors on top. It really like brings it all together. Did you also find the colorist on Facebook as well?
Yes and no. Yes and no. No, it was on Facebook, but I found him. He was recommended by a couple of people.
Okay.
And I was like, let me go with him, and he's great. I just paid him for we got to page 46. My artist, was it 46 or 47 that I think he skipped 46 for now, and he's going to come back to it because it was a complicated page. So we're at 47 was colored, so we are pretty far in. We're on like the final stretch of, let's put it this way, if the comic was 3 issues, we're on issue 3. Like, because it's a long thing. It was originally written as 3 issues, and then I condensed it to one big one. So this would have been the start of issue 3 is where I'm at coloring wise.
Right. And I just wanted to say, like, this is probably one of the best like images I've seen from the advertising of the book. It's like it's just really strong.
Yes, when I posted that on Facebook, or on Instagram, well, I said everything, but I guess I posted on all of them. But on Twitter, I got so much engagement, so many signups. People, oh my god, I gotta sign up! And because of that, because this is so beloved, I actually had fans vote, and I knew what they were gonna vote. This will be a mini print when we hit 15K. This will become a mini print, for free. For everyone as a stretch goal. So
nice.
We are, how close are we to that? We're almost at 12.
Let's see. Yeah.
We can get there. If you guys want that, tell all your friends, say, guys, come on. All right, back this book. I want that mini print. You want that everyone wants that mini print. Oh, and by the way, if you scroll down to the bottom, so there was a day 1 exclusive free trading card. And I decided, 'cause I'm such a generous guy. I decided, you know what? Some people missed it. Some people, didn't follow the clear instructions, or maybe didn't know about me yet. Well, for just $5, you can get that day 1 exclusive trading card, but only until midnight the 19th. And then after that, sorry, you missed the window. But if you want it, or if you already got one, you're like, I want another one. Get as many as you want before the 19th. And
okay, dope.
It's an add-on, so
right. Nice. And actually, I wanted to ask, what made you go with FundMyComic instead of either Indiegogo or Kickstarter?
That's a great question. So first of all, I'm glad I did, because I'm keeping a bigger cut. So that was a very, very good
Interesting.
They take a smaller percentage. That's one thing. Second,
Mhm.
I knew so many people that were just going to follow me where I went, and a lot of people who were going to back me that have never backed a comic before. I was like, let's bring them to a
Right.
place where I know no one's going to shadow ban me. I've heard nightmare stories where they can't even get in contact with the people at Kickstarter or Indiegogo.
Mhm.
Indiegogo will shadow ban people and then straight up just ghost them. Like some of their biggest people, right? Like even Graham
Right.
Nolan, who co-created Bane, right? Even he got
Right.
shadow banned. And I'm like, I don't want to give them my money, any portion of this. I worked so hard on this. I don't want to drop a campaign on there just to, you go to the FundMyComic homepage, I'm right up there. I'm not going to get
Yeah, I
that
noticed
treatment
that
from
actually.
Indiegogo. Not on Kickstarter, I doubt. I am going to launch on Kickstarter later.
Okay.
I am going to launch a Kickstarter campaign, but there is an exclusive free mini print. So if you guys, for Ken's fans here, Ken is a QB, so he knows. If you go down to my mini print real quick,
Oh yeah.
there is a free mini print that comes with every fun. I decided to make it FundMyComic exclusive. FundMyComic backers will get this mini print, which is by fans of this show and friends of Ken, of course.
Which one
up,
is the mini print?
up,
Oh,
up, down. There you
This one.
go.
Oh, okay. Here
so
we go.
that was pencil and ink by my buddy Zach, colored by Nick Capone.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
comes
this came out
free.
great.
Yeah, and that is the first look at our villain. Comes free with the comic if you back on FundMyComic. So you could potentially be getting. So you will be getting that in whatever cover you want, or covers. And you could get the trading card if you want. Up to you. But yeah, so that is extra incentive to back on FundMyComic if you want it here. Or you can go to Kickstarter, but you will not be able to get that free mini print, but you'll still, all the other stuff should be available. And there will be another cover added later on. So I'll make sure that there's a deal where you guys can get that afterwards. But for now, here's all this stuff.
Yeah, now I'd like to actually get into a little bit of the story behind PHENOMENOVA, the name, the inspiration behind it, and the inspiration for the main character. What can you tell us a little bit about that?
Of course, I'd love to. So PHENOMENOVA, brainchild of mine. And like any child, I was very much afraid to kind of let it go into the world, but I always wanted to. I wanted to grow and succeed. So I came up with this idea when I was in the second grade. It was originally not called PHENOMENOVA. That was a very recent development, which I'll get into. But
Right.
I was a huge fan of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Same.
And that was honestly, looking back, and it was perfect timing, dude. They re-released them in theaters, and they re-released the first one the same week that I launched my campaign. So I watch it and I get re-excited again, and I go, yes, this was my biggest inspiration. And it was to tell this story because it was so perfectly done. There was so much heart in that origin story. It's the perfect origin story. And but I would graduate to become a comic book fan, and it was Chris Claremont's X-Men run that really made me go. I started reading it when I was at film school, and I said, I want to make comics, man. Because I don't get me wrong, I love movies. I'm going to continue to do movies, but I put my focus on comics because I was like, I can get all my bigger budget ideas. I can own the rights. And you know what? I love the medium. I love artists. I love working with different artists. I love that when I was transferring this idea, which I had been writing as a screenplay for an animated series, to a comic book, I was like, oh my God, this is, you realize there are things you can't do in a comic you can do in a movie, but there are things you could do in a comic. There are things you can do in a movie you can't do in a comic, but things in a comic you can't do in a movie. And it really made me love both mediums more. I love it. It filled me with enthusiasm, and it deepened my appreciation for both mediums. And one of the things that I really love about this comic is it was really cool because it was like when I was writing this story, I was like, let me do the definitive. If there's only going to be one superhero story out of all of them, why would they choose mine? Well, there's a lot of reasons, and one of the things I wanted to do is boil down to the core what makes superheroes so special. And there were people that were telling me, well, try and do different. And I am doing different, but they would say, like, make it darker, make it more. And I was like, no. And I realized, well, why do I have such a strong reaction to that? Well, it's because in an age of constant cynicism and constant, man, just like so much anger and
Right.
deconstruction. I wanted to
Mhm.
do a reconstruction and a reconstitution of everything that gave that bright-eyed kid hope when he needed it. And I would write down lists of things that made superheroes special. I guess this kind of ties into my inspiration for my character, my name. One of the best things I think you can do as a creator is boil your story down to its core elements and find the beating heart of it.
Right.
And I did that, and I found that I was like, well, okay, why do I love superheroes? So I love the colorful costumes, I love the lore, I love the expanded universe, I love the way characters play off of each other. I love that you can have hours and hours of conversation. Oh, I like this character. I like the way he plays up with this. How would they interact with this? Let's look at all the intricate lore and history. I love all that.
Right.
I love the way powers can expand and backstories can explain. I love that we could have different artists, but coming together to do the same character and different writers. And there's so much to love about the comic book medium and superheroes and how the two are intrinsically tied. Let's go deeper though.
Right.
What about superheroes really resonated with me? And that actually, now that's on screen, brought me to, when I was a kid. So I lost my dad at 9/11. And I remember just being in this very angry place where I needed some escapism and I needed like
Right.
male role models to look up to. I needed a sense of justice because my dad had been killed by just these awful people. And I was like, I needed a sense of justice in the world and something to do with my anger. And I
Right.
found that like superheroes would take their tragedies, like Spider-Man would take his tragedies, Batman would take his tragedies and use it as an excuse to help people and make a world where no one else has to suffer the tragedy they suffered, where they could
Right.
take it and make the world a better place and stop the kind of bad people that caused their tragedy, where
Uh-huh.
they'd stop villains. And then when my dad was killed by basically like evil villains, I was like, to see people, there would be people that would sacrifice their personal lives to make others like me like feel safe. It was such a comforting idea, even if it was fictional, because those ideals, you want to bring them into the real world because it's
Right.
so powerful, and it gave you an escape. It gave you something to look up to. It gave you a kid a reason to smile when he needed it. And there was
Right.
one of the drafts I was writing, and that came from a very angry place. And I was like, my kid self would have hated this. And so it went back. And that's the thing. Get those bad drafts out of get all those emotions out of your system. It's okay.
Right.
Write stuff that's bad. Just don't publish stuff that's bad. And if you do, learn from it. Don't be afraid to just write or create or draw bad. Do not be afraid of that.
I actually wanted to ask really quick, how old were you when you lost your father?
2 years old.
2 years old. Okay. Okay.
I'm a young man.
Right.
24. Which, contrary to belief, I am old enough to drink. People,
Right.
people. I was at the bar. I mean, I was at a restaurant recently, and they gave me a hard time, Ken. They were like, "You're not." They were like, "Do you have something from in-state?" Because I went to meet up with Billy Tucci in Long Island. I was like, "Man,
Yeah.
I'm from New Jersey," and they were like, "Do you vouch for him?" Like, God, come on, man. Like, I don't look that young. I guess I do, but I'll take the compliment. But
Right.
yeah, that. And so then I would write down, I had Living Legends was the name.
Right. I remember that.
And then that was a really cool name, but it was also generic enough. And there were a couple of reasons why I wanted to change it. There's
Right.
possibly some legals. I think I would have been safe, but it's something distinct. And I was like, well, dude, everything's taken. And I went to like this manic state where I was like, I gotta come up with a perfect name. And I realized I had to do something different from Living Legends, that I wasn't gonna evoke the exact same feel, but that's okay.
Uh-huh.
And I would write all these words down, words that are related to the superhero stuff, what it's thematically about. And it needs to be something that's a young team, and but that's still inspirational. It still feels like superheroes, right?
Right.
And I was like, well, what are superheroes? And I remember one of the team names I came up with that I wrote down, but I was like, this doesn't fit teenage superheroes. So it's Crusader Corp. And I was like, but you know what? That does fit the World War III superheroes that you see. So they are going to be called Crusader Corp.
Uh-huh.
But then I was like, okay, well, what are superheroes? They're phenomenons. Okay, they are, because they're phenomenons in the sense that they're like the same way celebrities are, but they're also phenomenons in the sense that they're something that's out of the ordinary, that's supernatural in origin, that's not of this world, that's really rare. And then, well, they're also like young, bright stars. So what are some other words for like stars? So, okay, Nova is like a young star that's bright and with a lot of potential. And I
Yeah.
had those 2 words on these pieces of paper, and I was like, and then I started, like, mashed them together. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I was like, that's really cool. And I had that on the list, and I would keep like getting new pieces of paper, crossing out until I narrowed down. It was always be a finalist. And I was like, let's go with that. So I'm going to bed that night happy. I'm like, PHENOMENOVA, that's perfect. And I'm like, no, actually, it sucks. I'm like, all right, let me sleep on it. Let me sleep on it. In the morning, I like it again. And it took a few days. And finally, I'm like, screw it. I'm doing it. I'm paying the logo guy. Let's get this done. Let's do it. It'll grow on people, and it'll grow on me. And it has. And the logo guy killed it. He killed it. It's
Yeah, for real.
good. He made it a complicated word seem easy. You know, that was one of the main things. We just wanted to have a simple logo that just it's easily legible.
Uh-huh.
And he got that. And Bobby did just because I put so much effort into these covers, but you know what? I don't have an issue number, and I realized that. So Bobby designed an issue box, which I could share. Let me hold on.
Yeah. Let me
So I'm gonna make it smaller, but you know what? For you, I'm gonna share this, Ken.
All right. Give me 1 second. Let me stop sharing.
All right. Here we go. So Bobby designed this corner logo, which is way cooler than what I had in mind. Just like with the company logo, he came up with the company logo and the issue number logo. Way cooler than what I had in mind.
Is okay, this is the one. All right, here we go.
Issue number, I think I'm going to make it smaller. What do you think? You think I should make it smaller?
Let me bring it up closer. Okay, here we go. The issue number?
Yeah.
I feel like if it had like a number sign next to it, I don't know if there's enough space though.
Yeah.
Because what if that was a 2?
We tried it. He showed me that it could even work with double digits. That was my concern.
Oh, okay. I
was like, if you can make it work with other numbers, because I'm not changing the thing every time we make a new issue. He was like, I can do it. I was like, okay then.
Yeah, if you can put like a hashtag symbol next to it, like number 1, then I think it would be very clear like what that is. But it looks dope, man.
Yeah. Hashtag symbol. Yeah, come on, man. It's a number symbol.
Either one, man. You call it whatever.
Yeah, but I think do you think it's too big?
No, absolutely not. It reminds me of the Spider-Man symbol, but there's that extra layer of creativity where it's shaped like a lightning bolt.
Yeah. All right, so let me see.
Like the Marvel stuff.
All right, so then I'll see. Maybe the size is fine.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I'm still getting people yelling at me on Twitter over.
What are they yelling about now? Tifa and
yeah. I said that Tifa and Aerith end up together in Final Fantasy VII, which I'm sorry they do, and they're like, you don't get the point of the game, like, and I'm like, man, I worked so hard on that video essay, Ken. I did a 2-hour video essay, 49 pages, and I'm being accused of not doing my research. You know how many hours I spent watching video essays, reading through material, and they're like, well, you didn't read through the right. I'm like, come on, man.
But that shows
I played the game.
Yeah, I mean, but that shows that they care about like what you're saying, because they can disagree with it, or they feel strongly enough about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it does. That's the thing. They were like, maybe you shouldn't have posted it, because admittedly it was a little bit of a baiting caption.
Oh yeah,
but it was like, yeah, well, it's not really about ship. But I also was just being frank. Like, I stand by what I said. I was just like, it's not a matter of shipping. It's a matter of understanding the game's themes and why these two characters end up together and the character arcs. And oh boy, did they not like that. And they're like, well, you could have been nicer about it. I'm like, did you watch the video? I'm like, yeah. Like, so I got you. I got your attention.
Right.
And listen, getting people's attention is very important. Now, obviously, I don't want to be a drama queen and just get attention that way, right? I want to get it based on merit. But man, has it been it's been great, the response I'm getting. And it's the numbers aren't slowing down. And I don't think that, I think my hope is that people will be like, when I see it's closed down, they'll be like, I want it, Elba. And I'll be like, don't worry, it's coming back. Because it comes back. So the way I'm an idiot. So I messed up the funding. So the one thing I will say is if you backed already and you want to add another cover, you haven't been charged yet. So you can withdraw your contribution and edit your order as much as you want without getting charged or dealing with your bank until it closes out this Sunday midnight. So after that, you won't be able to do that. But before that, you could add whatever covers you want, whatever changes you want, before you get charged. So makes it easy for people. And then after that, you'll be charged right away. When it so I have it in a mode where it's just raising money, and then everyone gets charged at the end of the 30 days, right? Then it's going to close for 5 days to process those payments, and then we're going to switch over to an in-demand mode where people can just get money that way.
Right.
Or people, as soon as they pay, they get it withdrawn. And like the reason I launched the campaign when I did instead of when it was done was because I knew I was going to be campaigning for X amount of time anyway, right? And I was like, well, the book is about, let's say, 2 months out from done. So I was like, why don't I just campaign for that time? And then by the time the campaigning is, because I was already going to set aside this much time to campaign, let's just do that, And then I'm also hopefully going to start production on issue 2 as soon as I'm done with issue 1. That's my plan. I was working on the script. I'm going to work on it today.
Nice. Actually, a couple of questions. So, one, how long do you plan for this whole series to be? Like, is it going to be a mini series?
Oh, and not mini.
Universe.
Whole universe, baby.
Wow.
Gonna be an ongoing series. I'm inspired by Claremont. I'm doing pure comics thing. That's the thing. Initially, it was a movie idea. Now at this point, I'm not going to say no to the possibility of a movie, but I will say I will die a happy man if it's just a great comic book series. I want to make a great comic book series. I want to keep it running like my favorite comics.
Right.
Until, like, I don't want to overstay my welcome. I'm not just going to pump it out just because it's making money. If I get sick of it, but I don't, with the amount of ideas I have, let's put it this way. I've gone through the whole comic book process, dealt with so much crap, and I still love comics. So that's a testament. That's the thing. If you want to find out if you love making comics, make the comic, publish the comic. And if you still love it, by the time it ships out, which nothing has deterred me yet. So if I still love comics by the end of this process, I'm sticking around, baby. I'm sticking around. So,
and then you mentioned something about movies and working with movies. Like, are you trying to make comic properties that can be turned into movies, or is your actual aim to work in movies eventually, or are you just sticking with comics?
Well, I've worked in movies. I'd love to do both. A lot of the time it's weird. I think of like smaller ideas. I think of like movie ideas and comic ideas. And I'm not saying my comic ideas can't be movies, but it's almost like I picture this as a movie. I picture this as a comic. And it's that kind of thing. It's almost like I think in my brain thinks on 2 tracks. Now, I'm not saying I can't turn my comic ideas into movies or vice versa. But there are ideas where I'm kind of like, this is something I want to see people act out. This is something I want to see drawn on the page. And I think both are equally valuable, but my brain does think on both tracks.
Right.
So, yeah, honestly, if I could work one, and I almost see them as separate right now. I'm a creative, but I do kind of feel like my brain works in 2 different. So like PHENOMENOVA, I really, even though it started as a movie idea, I do really see it as a comic idea. Now I'm not opposed to it going the other way, but I'm focused on it as a comic. But I do have movie ideas. I'd love to get back. I haven't written a screenplay in a while, but I've been founding my, I keep going, why is it taking so long? And I'm like, dude, I founded my own company. I built a fan base. I did a lot. And I also, my first published work, 10-page short story, that I do want to make a full comic. This one I initially came up as a comic book idea, and this one I could see being a movie as well. This one even more so than PHENOMENOVA, I could see turning into a movie. In fact, I'll write this one in a more cinematic way than PHENOMENOVA. PHENOMENOVA I'm writing purely as a comic, and then I'll have to readapt if I make it a movie. But this one will be more cinematic. Is Land of the Lawless. But I came up with it as a comic book idea, and then I was like, I was in an action movie class, and I was like, why don't I write why don't I write that idea I had for a comic as a screenplay? And now I totally see it as a screenplay, but I also see, and then when I had a 10-page short story contest for Phil Russert that I was going to participate in, I was like, oh, that screenplay I wrote that I initially envisioned as a comic, let me just readapt that opening scene because it's very self-contained into comic book format. So I did that. He loved the script. I won that contest, and then I got to do this 10-pager.
Nice.
Yeah.
So have you ever considered drawing yourself, or have you ever tried to draw before?
I haven't put in enough time and energy, and honestly, I don't know that I ever will, if I'm being honest.
I
think there are enough talented people.
Okay. And actually, I wanted to know, how did you save up the funds to be able to hire out all the talent that you got to work on your book? What?
Well, it's not all my money.
Okay.
It's let's put it this way. I was like gonna save up, and I'm like, someone. I don't talk about it too much, but like, I had family. Like my mom was like, like I'll cover X amount, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll help raise X amount. And I also am working, on saving up and stuff like that. But it was like, I'm gonna make sure that I use this and jumpstart and pay back, and all that.
Right.
But that was how it started. I was like, well, think of it as like an investor, and it's like an investment in something that I want to do more. And so that's how I did it. It's not the most badass story, but it's the honest story.
It's how everyone starts, man.
Mommy helped me out.
Dude, there's nothing to be ashamed of, dude.
No, it's not, because I put in that work, baby. You know what I mean? Like I put in that work to I'm gonna earn that money back. I don't listen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, for issue 2, issue 3, because people my concern is always, well, like, what if people, they buy it and then they're like, it wasn't that good. But that ain't gonna happen, because Rini liked the script. Most people like the script. I think if anything, I'll get more fans for issue 2. We'll see.
Dope, man. Dope. Like, was it that you had like a job and you took some of the savings from your job and put it into the book too?
Listen, you're getting, I don't know how much I want to tell about that, but
you don't have to get too deep into it.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that a little vague, but I'll say, listen, people were paid accordingly. That's okay. It was mafia connections, Ken. No, right. New Jersey mafia. No, I'm kidding. It wasn't. No, yeah, I just, it was covered. And issue 2, all this money I'm gonna reinvest. This isn't my spending money. And I'm talking to someone, like I potentially have a producer as well who will help out as well. But I want to make. Listen, I'd love to do this full time, but
same, yeah.
Doesn't mean we don't always get what we want. You know. Right away, I think I will get what I want, but for now, I'm gonna do all right. I'm gonna do good work.
Nope. Yeah, like they say that when you're running your first campaign, most of the help is gonna come from family and friends. Yeah, and that's how it was for even my campaign. It was like a lot of the funds came from family and friends. The initial people that are like interested in me, they just want to help out first, and then everyone else who is fans later on, you know what I mean? So that's how it's gonna, like, they say the real numbers come in your second campaign when it's not just family and friends helping out. It's like,
fans. That's what I realized. I have a lot of family and friends, but a lot of them explaining crowdfunding is very tough. So I think there's a lot of them that have told me they're gonna back, and I'm like, I don't think they're gonna back, because I just don't, because they'll be like, what? I can't. I'm like, I posted about it every day. I emailed you. I made entire tutorial videos. They'll be like, I don't get it. I'm like, well, listen, you got to understand, there are people that you're just going to miss. It's just going to happen. That's one of the things, is I can't spend my whole time going, oh, no, they're not. It's like, no, don't focus on who didn't back. Doesn't mean don't reach out to them. Right. But like for the last 2 days, I'm not focused on who didn't back. I'm focusing on just, let's get to 200. And then if those people really want to back, they'll back later. It doesn't mean don't pester people. Do that. You have to pester people. But don't drive yourself insane. Well, drive yourself insane enough, but just enough. Now,
Right.
that being said, I slacked off for a few days with promoting, and then I was like, people are they're not going all right. Let me just tweet something out. And then suddenly I'm, whoa, I just got a bunch of backers. I guess they really forget you exist like very quickly on the internet.
Right.
They really do. Like, it's crazy. You slack off for a few days. You were hot shit yesterday.
Mhm.
And then they'll forget about you in like a week. It's like, okay, so I guess you have to make sure they don't forget about you.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like the first 2 days are like your strongest days, maybe the first few days. And then the couple weeks after that in the middle are like the basically the dead zone. And throughout that entire time, I was just trying to figure out how to get any little bit of business, any little hit of backers here and there. And I was promoting every single day throughout that entire 30-day period. But it didn't really start hitting until the last couple of days where people were like, "Oh
They
yeah, I forgot
time
he
to
was."
make up their mind. And I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
what happen is people aren't going to back by the end of this 30-day funding period. And my hope, now may just be wishful thinking, is like, no, I missed it. It's back. But then what I think is going to happen is some of them will go, oh, it's back. Thank God I'll get it. Or things are going to go, oh, it's back. Actually, it didn't really. I'm like, okay, man. And then I think at the end of when I'm like, all right, last call, I'm actually got to send this out. Then people, and listen, if they miss it, the main cover will be on my website. Now I wanted to make it because I actually didn't expect to do this many variant covers. I'm probably not going to do as many, but it's hard also because at first I was like, oh, why do they use so many variant covers? And you realize how many artists you want to work with. And also I look at how my story and I'm like, there's so much cover potential. There's a lot of moments where I'm like, that's a cover. That's a cover. That's a cover. Oh, what if we had one that conveyed this? So you realize why there are so many covers.
Right.
Especially from creative. It's a way to be creative. Every
Right.
one of my covers conveys something different. And even then there was an idea I had for a cover where I'm like, that didn't get made in. Like there's a character I wanted on a cover that didn't, but it's like, it's okay. It's okay. I have enough for issue 1,
Right.
But it's so cool. It's so cool seeing different people create. But all the variant covers are campaign exclusives, which means once I'm done with the crowdfunding pre-order campaigns, it's more of a pre-order at this point. I'm not saying I guess it is crowdfunding. I mean, whatever you like, I don't care. Whatever you guys want to, because people are like, I think if it's mostly done, it's a pre-order, and I'm like, all right, or it's not done, then it's. I'm like, dude, it's just. All right, just if you want it, pay for it, man. If you don't. But
Right.
whatever. Anyway, when this period is over, those variant covers are gone. You won't be able to get them. You'll be able to get the main cover. Maybe I'll print some extras that'll be like double price to have at conventions. Maybe just like a couple extras, but like if you want to get it, back it. Otherwise, you won't get the variant covers. That mini print you will not be able to get. That free mini print. Oh, you want that mini print? You do. Back it. And if you want to get all the exclusives, there's that trading card that for the next few days. So,
Nice.
just get it. Yeah.
Right. Do you think are you aiming to ever get this into stores
Of
into
course.
Right.
But we'll figure that out. I was like gonna price it according to that, and I'm like, dude, I can't do that. Let me just sell it like this first, and then if I have to do another print later, I'll do another print later. But for now, I'm selling for this, and then whoever wants it, they can get it.
Right.
That's
If PHENOMENOVA was to be printed by any of the comic companies out there, which would you go with?
one other than me, printed by them.
Yes, like printed, published by them.
Do they own the rights?
No, it'd be either you own all the rights or whatever indie publishers that are out there, not the big two.
All right, as long as I own all the rights. Do I trust any? Hang on.
Trust.
Because the thing, I like
There's
Control.
only like 5.
I like Control, but it's also I would be lying if I said I wouldn't. I would love to have other people do a lot of the knee deep work. And I am glad I had to learn all this stuff, but I would definitely like to hire one of the first people I'd hire if I could hire someone full time. Would be I'm gonna guess artist, but then also someone to really be like essentially my secretary, my assistant. Yeah, hold on 1 second. Sorry, 1 second.
No, you're good. Let's bring that page up again. Share screen. Yep, this is PHENOMENOVA. Everyone check it out. 68-page comic. He says 2 months until it's completed. So, oh, here we go. He's back.
There you go. Sorry about that.
No, you're good, man.
Yeah.
Right.
What was I saying?
You said you needed like some kind of secretary or something. I was asking who would you publish with?
Yeah. So I've honestly been kind of tuned out. I know a lot of the generic answer would be something like Image, maybe
right.
Boom. I'd have to look into it more and do more research, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I read a tweet the other day that said there's only like 26 or 23 major comic publishers in the US, and only a few of them are actually like reputable to where they're not stealing people's money and going off with the art and all that. So
yeah, that's good.
Kind of a mess.
Yeah, it's a tragedy. Well, hopefully I can turn Rebel Oasis Studios into that. That's my goal. So make sure to back this book. Listen, I'd love to create a universe, which means create jobs. All right. I'd love to have people be able to make something where people can come over, join the Rebel Oasis, come stay a while. You'll find some really good stuff, some really good stories. I want to create a great network and really build something that lifts a rising tide, lifts all boats. And I would love to do that. So you're basically starting. I've been told by Billy Tucci that I am the future of comics. So if that interests you, make sure you support a good future. Because listen, we all know that there's big problems in the comic book industry in America. Now, I can't promise us solve all of them, but I can promise I can do my damn best. And that starts by just focusing on me and focusing on making sure my team is paid for, making sure that I treat people well, making sure that I put out quality product to as many people as I can.
Yeah, I would say there's books that are, I've seen books that are just as good looking or even better looking, just just in terms of a aesthetic standpoint, that fail in terms of funding. Like they don't make their mark for some reason, but you somehow found
because they don't market properly. A lot of people don't market. That's my biggest advice: sell your product before you sell your product. Most people finding out about PHENOMENOVA knew about PHENOMENOVA back when it was even Living Legends. I promoted this book, and even before I showed the first art, people knew that I was a writer that was coming out for something. Make your online presence known. Sell the product before there's even a product to sell. And then when people, so that way, by the time it's available to even back it, people have been waiting for it. It's an event now. People have been wanting. I would have people months prior. You can go back and find tweets. I want this book. When is it dropping? When are you launching that campaign? That's why I had 3,000 raised on my launch night, and then 5,000 by the end of that weekend at least.
Nice.
Is because they were waiting for it. And there are people that are still. There are people I'm like, you said you would back, but they'll get to it. But here's the thing. I'm not complaining. 192 people have backed. More to come. I will say, I do get pissed when there are people that are like, ugh, I'm so sick of whatever Marvel stuff. And I'm like, I have a book that you could back, right? You want to keep complaining to me? I don't care. I don't pay attention to it. I just make my own. I don't think I need to complain about that. I just want to create stuff I do like, Right. And that's, I'm not saying you can't, right? But at the end of the day, I just want to create what makes me happy.
Right. And
look at that beautiful creative team. Look at that.
Oh yeah, man.
Incredible.
That's how many people besides you? Let's see.
14 people total.
14 total.
And then off Buzz, and then his colorist. So my cover artist, my last one is going to be Buzz.
I think I saw a tweet about that recently.
Yes. Probably by me, I would imagine. So there we go. That's my whole. So obviously, if you'll notice, a lot of them are just like Zach did a mini print, Nick did a mini print. We got logo guy, but these are the incredible talent that I employed, and they all killed it, all of them. They've all helped make. I listen. I paid them, and they're all making me money off of their incredible work.
Nice, man. Nice.
And yeah.
Awesome. I had a question about, let me see. I'm blanking on it. Oh, well, let me just ask, what went into the writing aspect of PHENOMENOVA? How did you ideate, come up with the ideas? When did this like start? When did you get the first seed of the idea of PHENOMENOVA?
Yeah. So when I was little, I had come up. You know what? I think it was honestly, it was a couple. I wanted to come up with superhero, and I think I had the idea. I was like, well, Flash has this lightning bolt symbol, but he's just fast. Like, why doesn't he have lightning powers? He doesn't have lightning powers. What if I had a superhero who had lightning powers and super speed? And that's really what I came up with. So my main character, and I changed his name many times. Originally, now I was a genius, Ken. I thought, Lightning Lad, that's perfect. Well, it is. It was also, I found out many years later, taken. And I was very upset. Very upset. So then I had like Lightning was one. Lord Lightning, I remember I proposed on a live stream, only to be laughed at by the entire panel. So I was like, all right. And I went through another manic state. So I had like an identity crisis late 2023 because I had to change my main character's name. And then as soon as I'm done with that, I'm like, oh, I have to change the name of my title. So I have a ton of extra lightning names. But I decided on Galvanite, which I love.
Oh, was that one of the proposed titles after Living Legends?
No, because it's a team book.
Right.
It's a team book. So Galvanite, it was never, and that's why people are like, Galvanite is a really cool name. Why didn't you call it that? I'm like,
yeah,
because so the team, this is the confusing part. So it'll be confusing only for this period of time, but as soon as like we have issue 3 out, it won't be confusing anymore. So PHENOMENOVA is the name of the team. Now the first 2 issues I want to focus on the main character. Well, you're going to see some of PHENOMENOVA in issue 2. But, okay. So not this team. That's Crusader Corp. They fought in World War III. So he's going to join the next generation of heroes, teenage superheroes.
Right.
That are going to be called PHENOMENOVA. But I wanted to focus on the main character's origin story. And at the end of this issue, he's going to be recruited by one of the heroes that fought during World War III, one of the Crusader Corp members, to be trained to become part of this new team called PHENOMENOVA.
Dope.
So PHENOMENOVA, it's going to be a team book, like I said. So he's a member of the team, but he's the main character, at least to start with. You know, eventually you will see more of the other characters, but I wanted to have one central protagonist to start with.
Right.
To really introduce us to the world and the characters and really see him build up from the ground up as a superhero and integrate into the team that way is how I decided to handle it.
Yeah, I think that's a really strong way to introduce people to a whole world. A whole universe of characters.
With one character. That's what I was told to do.
Yeah, because a lot of stories start with a whole team of people that you have to like all at once and all that, but it's really difficult to do that. And it's a very smart decision to go with one character to kind of get the person latched onto, get the reader latched onto, and then introduce everybody else later on.
In a complex world, tell a simple story. That was some advice that someone gave me. And yeah, I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with you. You know, I think it's something that people fail to do a lot. But yeah, 100%.
Right. And I just remember the question I was going to ask. What were some of the things that you did to get the word out about PHENOMENOVA and get people
stream and tweet a lot, make short videos? That is a really, really helpful thing. Not just because it's not even about how many people see it. People scroll past the tweet. If you have a video where you're enthusiastic and you're sharing your idea, someone had told me that, and I was like, I should do that. Guess people, it might not get. First of all, TikTokers say nice. I don't think any of them are back in my book. I don't think TikTok. Maybe I'm wrong, but at least for me, I don't know. And I don't know if I'm shadow banned. I don't get that much outreach on TikTok. I used to years ago. I don't know what the hell happened. It's really TikTok. I can't figure out. But you just kind of got to keep trucking. YouTube Shorts,
right?
Great for building an audience. I didn't know today, but I upload one almost every day.
Oh, nice.
That's okay. I'm doing like 4 streams today. I'm more than making up for it. Get on as many shows as you can. Like this month, almost every day I've had a live show up in. And if not, I've had multiple. Like I'm having 2 shows today. I've been on.
Wow.
You know, I don't have live shows this weekend. I don't think, except for my own closeout stream on Sunday. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what you got to do.
Dope. Yeah. So, what was I about to say? I was about to say the thing with TikTok, I just deleted it off my phone. Like it's too much of like I don't see too much return from posting on there. Like you'll get a lot of views from what you post, but not a lot of engagement if it's not what TikTok is looking for.
Dude, and I don't know what the hell TikTok's looking for. I guess girls dancing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which I don't do.
Right.
I barely get it. I get like 20 likes. Yeah, and they don't seem. I don't pay that much attention to it. I just post and then close the app. Honestly, I barely spend any time on that. But I post it on YouTube Shorts. I post it on, and I don't get a lot of feedback on those shorts, but I do get subscribers. I've checked the analytics.
Yeah. Shorts are a really good way to
Twitter is very, very good for engagement. That's where I get the most from. It's where I get the most controversy, but the most engagement. Facebook is good to an extent,
right?
But only to an extent. You don't want to post every day on there like I do on Twitter, like I do on. And apparently, I'm suppressed by the algorithm on Twitter, and I still get good, good stuff. So,
yeah, like on Facebook, what I notice is that I have more followers than I do friends, but you have to pay to reach out to the followers. So
dude, Facebook and Instagram, you have to. It's pay to play. It's pay to play.
Yeah.
And I look at how many people I'm paying for my comic. I don't have that kind of budget to spend. And honestly, I don't really want to. Listen, I will if I have to. I don't have to yet.
Right.
I don't have to yet. I'm gonna keep pushing on the ones that are giving me engagement. Later on, if I want for a bonus, I'll be like, all right, fine, I'll do the deal with the devil and pay Meta. But if I have ones where I don't have to pay and I can get some engagement, okay.
Yeah. It is exactly what it is, pay to play. And I try to reach as many as I can with just the regular post, but it won't go out much further unless it's a reel. One time I was able to get like 1 million views with a single reel, but that's because it kept getting pushed out to more and more people. It just caught traction organically, but a single post with just an image is really not going anywhere.
That's what I realized is it only goes somewhere, because how many cool indie comics covers have you backed just by them posting an image? Be honest. For me, it's 0.
Only if it was advertised.
But did you know the creator?
No. It would only have to be something that I'm already sort of into, like in a style I'm already kind of into.
Think about comics you've backed and why you back them. Then be that person.
Yeah, I always be thinking about all that stuff.
And you do a good thing where you promote to anime fans and whatever. Now, I don't know if anime fans will back you, but I know that's the thing. People always say, this audience won't back you. Well, if you advertised, like these Final Fantasy VII fans, I don't know if any of them are going to back me yet. What if they back my 3rd book, though?
Right. It's a long game with
what if they retweet me? What if they help me in the algorithm? What if they engage and that leads to more people? What if out of 1,000 people, 1 backs me? Now, am I going to spend all my time doing it for 1? But no, if just talk about what your that's another thing. People are starved for when you're only doing it as a job, people can see that.
Right. Actually, as the last question, I wanted to ask you, what's with your obsession with Final Fantasy VII, and then how does that feed into PHENOMENOVA?
Everything feeds into it. So I was at the gym once, and I was like, "There's a part where in my script where my main character looks up at a nuclear reactor." And I'm like, "Well, there's a part in Final Fantasy VII where that happens. In fact, there's kind of a reference image in my script. Why am I not doing a cover for that?" And I was like, "Quick, All right, my trading card artist. She's also a nerd. Let's do that.
Mhm.
I'm not any more obsessed with Final Fantasy VII than a lot of the stuff, but I'm really into it right now. It's trending in the algorithm. The new game is out, so I've been posting about it a lot. And I decided I want to make a video essay, especially I've wanted to do one for a while, especially now that I had that cover and the new game was out. I was like, this is a chance for me to grow an audience. And then I also fell back in love with the game. So it was kind of passion, but also I am gaining attention from it, especially now. And that's the thing, you might not get attention right away. I made this video essay. I had ideas for this video essay months ago, and then I dropped it and I was like, oh man, I only got like 500 views. And then I tweeted this thing out weeks ago, and then suddenly it got controversy. And then yesterday it got 100 views on it. And I got some new backers, I think, because of it. And I have to stream about it again. So it's another thing people don't do. And sometimes you want to get that instant gratification. Sometimes it's good. Play the long game. It's okay. It's okay. That doesn't mean don't get stuff now. You want to, like, that's why I was like, this trading card, limited time. Come on. Like, you want to do that? Don't be afraid if it doesn't work out right away. It's okay. Create something. When you're dead in the ground, you want people to look at and say, this guy did great. When I'm dead, I want to be getting new fans. I'm like, oh man, I wish I could have met him. You know, how many creators do you look up to that are either gone or the comic book run that inspired me to write my comic was released. The run started 1975, Chris Claremont's run.
Right.
I was born in 1999. Now, I didn't start reading Chris Claremont's X-Men run until like a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want to create something that really is that special, that can cross decades, cross media, cross all of that.
Right.
And that means you have to create something of quality. So focus on quality, focus on promoting with passion, not just promoting, hey man, check out my comic. Hey, here's why I'm doing this. I really want to sell. Like I had someone, for example, tell me that, Vaughn, I'll be honest, as your friend, I was never interested in your comic until you described it as a reconstruction as opposed to a deconstruction. Ask people for that hard feedback. Like I've had people say, pitches I want, like I said, oh, I've had this idea ever since a kid. It's my dream project. And I had someone respond to that tweet. Pitches I will never buy. Well, and I know this guy actually looking at videos. Pitches I will never buy. I've been doing this since you were a kid. Wow, so is everyone. Give me something about the story. And I'm like, that's good feedback. Also, you could tell when there's someone who wants you to fail and someone who's going to be a hard ass about you and wants you to succeed. Or someone who doesn't know but is just being honest. You want to convince them. And if you can't, don't dwell on it. Move on. There's what, like, are there 8? Have we hit 8 billion people on this planet yet? You know, there's a lot of people out there. It's okay if you don't get that one guy. Move on, learn. Yeah. You know, it's okay. And just because someone doesn't back you today doesn't mean they won't back you tomorrow or the next campaign. Keep going.
Solid stuff, man. Solid stuff.
And that's another thing. Someone was like, Vaughn, no one's going to listen to the advice you give. Well, maybe people will now that I've actually done. But, you know, it's okay. If you don't listen, that's your problem. You know what I mean? Right, but I also don't know everything. That's the other thing. Everyone is always learning. I am certainly always learning.
Yeah. I actually wanted to get just one last thing about your philosophy on networking with people and getting people interested in your work.
Promote with everyone you can. But also be wary of there are going to be people that are going to make you kiss the ring. Beware. Make sure you're building your own fans. That doesn't mean not going to people with other fans, but you don't want to have customers that you're afraid of, or customers that you want to have fans that will be with you, that will be interested in you. You want to have a diverse group of fans from maybe different outlets, people that, so if you have, like, let's say if you are entirely dependent on your relationship with one person, or you're basically leeching off someone else's fan base, you're destined to fail because you're going to have to be kissing ass for the rest of your life. If you don't want to be that, don't be that. And that's, I think, part of being independent is, do you actually want to be independent? If you do, be independent. And if you think, like, it goes back to that instant gratification idea, build something that be stable on your own. That doesn't mean don't network. Networking is everything, but network but don't rely on someone else for success. Network with everyone you can. Try and maintain good relationships without sacrificing your values. Be true to your values. Be true to what you value and what you want to create. But network with people and learn to get along with people you disagree with as best you can. And if you can't get along with them, just keep your distance.
Right. No, that's sound advice, man. It sounds like it comes from experience too.
It does. It does. Not hiding it. Yeah, it comes from experience.
Right. Awesome.
Which
Well,
is the
we
best
just
teacher.
yeah, absolutely, man. And we've just hit the hour mark. And this has been a great discussion. Let me go back to the page one more time and see if we can get some viewers on that. All right, cool. You see it?
Yeah.
All right, dope. So this is a PHENOMENOVA once again. You got 2 days left and 192 backers, $11,000. That's amazing. Raised in
Don't miss
27 days.
You don't want to be like, I could have backed PHENOMENOVA, but I didn't. And now I'll never get that trading card that was available. I'll never get those covers. I'll never be able to say I was a backer. I'll never have that mini print to prove it. You know those old propaganda pieces where it's like, Dad, what were you doing during the war? Do you want to be the dad who wasn't doing anything during the war? No. Back it.
Right. Back PHENOMENOVA today. You got 2 days left and then it's closed. Hopefully not forever.
No, not forever. If something's forever, then that means I'm being held hostage.
Right. All right. Well, thanks, Vaughn, for coming on.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. And hope this comic funding does well. And well, even better. But yeah, have a great one.
Thank you. I will. You too.
All right. Peace out to everyone else.
Yeah.
See ya.